I really miss my friend. I really do. I'm still hurting.
Then the next thing you know,
I genuinely miss my friend, and I'm still in pain. Then all of a sudden, she's gone. When I first heard that Whitney had passed away, I immediately said, "My God, someone gave her a bad bag of cocaine." This was followed by my encounter with Ray J, and it all added up. Years have passed since Whitney's death, but there is still controversy surrounding her name. Ray J faced criticism for spending time with her shortly before she passed away, which sparked even more drama. Then there is Clive Davis, a major player behind Whitney's career. It's like getting a glimpse into the inner workings of the music industry, where profit is frequently achieved. It's even been suggested that Whitney was going to write a tell-all book before she passed away, which could have contributed to her tragic demise. However, things aren't exactly clear-cut, as it has been reported that Ray J conspired with Clive and Diddy to have Whitney removed from the scene. This was allegedly part of a twisted power play, almost like a dark Hollywood thriller, where they supposedly saw Whitney as a sacrificial pawn in their quest for fame and fortune. It seems unfair to what Whitney looks like, as anything bearing her name is only done so to profit those who have access to her estate, including Clive Davis and Davis Davis. This isn't a movie to celebrate Whitney Houston. It's a movie to, well, there was more to Whitney's death than just a tragic accident. According to Jaguar, there was more to Whitney's death than a tranquil passing. Whitney's injuries suggested something more sinister than a bathtub death, Jaguar asserted proudly. Without holding back, Jaguar accused Ray J of participating in shady enterprises run by Clive Davis and Diddy. Then the next thing you know, she's dead. She was sober, yes, but Ray J, the last person to see her alive, allowed the dealer inside and gave it a go. Leela Estated Brown, Leela Bobby Brown's sister, repeatedly claimed that she had been beaten and that they had seen her body. She had not simply passed away in a bathtub as they had believed. Let's take a step back for a second. Ray J wasn't simply some random guy they enlisted in their scheme. He had a lengthy history with both Clive and Diddy and even looked up to him as a role model. Since Diddy and Clive have a long history together, there have been rumors of a sizable debt that Diddy owes Clive, as well as rumors of dubious favors that have been exchanged between them. This kind of talk can shake up everything you thought you knew about the industry. So why Ray J of all people? Well, he was Whitney's closest confidant at the time, so they assumed he would be game for anything, especially if there was money involved. After all, who wouldn't be tempted by a sizable paycheck? 5 years following her breakup with Bobby Brown, Whitney returned to the spotlight, this time closely associated with Ray J. Yes, you read that right. There were rumors circulating about their romantic involvement, which they never confirmed, but there was still a noticeable age gap. Whitney, 48, and Ray J, 31, raised eyebrows when they were spotted out and about together, hitting up clubs and expensive dinners like it was no big deal. Whitney and Bobby's marriage was anything but a fairy tale. In fact, Bobby revealed all in his memoirs about their turbulent relationship, which was marked by constant drama, loud arguments, and breakups and reconciliations. Their love story was a hot mess, involving drugs, domestic problems, and rumors of infidelity. But here's the kicker. Whitney was the one who first went out, hooking up with Tupac Shakur. Bobby was shook, especially since he was tight with Tupac and thinking about joining his label Crazy Situation, and Bobby nearly bounced right then. But when Tupac tragically passed in '96, Whitney was crushed and Bobby had to watch her mourn the former love of her life. Their marriage turned into this crazy dance of splitting up and making up until Bobby couldn't take it anymore. He had to ask himself if all the drama was worth it. And in the end, he made the tough call to call it quits for good. During Whitney's stints in rehab, Bobby felt like he was painted as the bad guy getting side-eyed by her counselors, Despite staying clean himself, he remembers leaving their marriage, quietly starting FR in LA. With only a $000 to his name, it was there he reconnected with Alicia, his childhood friend who later became his second wife. Their split wasn't just the end of a marriage, it triggered a series of events that led to Bobby Christina's downward spiral. And while the world watched, rumors of Whitney's ties with Ray J stirred up even more drama in the gossip columns. Ray J has always maintained that they were just friends, denying any romantic involvement. However, people didn't buy it, and even after Whitney Houston's tragic death in 2012, they were spotted together, leaving everyone wondering what was really going on between them. Let me start by clearing up a small rumor. I heard you were spotted out and about with Whitney Houston. I know there were rumors back in the day that you guys were hanging out, but what's the deal right now? We hang because it's Grammy weekend, she's in town, and we had dinner together. Sure, that sounds platonic, but we had a good time together. And hey, there are worse people you can hang with now. Here's where things take a darker turn. Though Whitney has denied it in interviews, there are rumors that Ray J wasn't just her boy toy and may have contributed to her battle with addiction. Yes, you read that right. Ray J is said to have witnessed Whitney's downward spiral and provided more than she needed, which furthered her addiction to crack. Whitney attempted treatment, but it didn't work. She acknowledged her wild streak and insisted that she wasn't on a path towards self-destruction. Instead, she just wanted to continue living. Tragically, her battle against addiction proved ineffective, as Diddy and Clive Davis were allegedly pulling strings behind closed doors. In a candid interview with Diane Sawyer back in 2002, Whitney Houston opened up about her struggles with addiction and her messy relationship with Bobby Brown. She also hinted at some seriously shady things going down behind the scenes with Davis and the music. Clive Davis was the mastermind behind Arista Records, where Whitney Houston made her mark. He was like the ultimate music guru, turning artists into icons. However, as the early 2000s rolled in, cracks started showing in their once solid bond. Biz fast forward to Clive Davis reflecting on his last moments with Whitney just before her tragic passing. He painted Whitney as being on top of her game, proudly showing how she had kicked her nicotine habit. Davis even remembers talking about rescheduling a recording session because he was so impressed by Whitney's renewed energy. And of course, then you had to have had a last moment with her, that last encounter. What will you cherish about that last encounter that you had with Whitney? My last encounter with Whitney was like 48 hours before the house. She was in great shape. I got to tell you, she showed me how all the nicotine from her smoking had been removed. We scheduled a recording for August up in Siri. She had just come from her movie she had been there, and I played her. I was playing her songs at 10V and had just recorded. We spent the whole afternoon, as we always did, together at my hotel. So it was shocking 48 hours, but to everyone's surprise,